There is a swimming hole perched right on the edge of a 300-foot waterfall. One wrong step, and you vanish into the roar below. There is a hiking trail where you clip into a rusty chain and shuffle sideways along rotten wooden planks, thousands of feet in the air. Tour groups still line up to try it. These are real tourist attractions you can book today. By the time we reach number 1, you will see why some people call it the most dangerous hike on Earth. Every year, millions of travelers chase bucket list thrills. Skywalks, cliff edges, live volcanoes, even radiation zones. Most of these places are legal to visit, and many are surprisingly crowded. The danger is real, but the selfie temptation is stronger. Here are 10 of the most dangerous tourist attractions you can actually visit. 10. CN Tower Edgewalk, Canada. High above Toronto, visitors in red jumpsuits lean forward over the city. There is no railing in front of them, only open air. They shuffle around the rim of the CN Tower's main pod, strapped to an overhead rail by a single rope. Cars and buildings look like toys far below. Guides encourage people to lean out, spread their arms, and stare straight down. Your heart races even if you are just watching from the ground. Walkway sits about 356 meters above the street. The attraction operates only in safe weather conditions. 9. Kawah Ijen Crater, Indonesia. Before sunrise in East Java, hikers climb toward a glowing blue mist. Inside the crater of Kawah Ijen volcano, something otherworldly burns. Miners and tourists stand beside bright blue flames licking out of cracks in the rock. Sulfur gas ignites as it meets the air, turning the darkness electric. Just meters away lies a turquoise acidic lake, steaming and deadly. Everyone wears masks, but the air still scratches the throat and eyes. The lake is highly acidic and filled with dissolved metals. Visitors often hike at night to see the blue fire. Shifting winds can suddenly push toxic gas toward the trail. 8. Caminito del Rey, Spain. In a narrow Spanish gorge, a thin concrete path hugs the cliff face. Far below, a turquoise river winds between sheer walls of rock. For years, the Caminito del Rey was a crumbling catwalk with missing sections and rusted supports. Climbers balanced on steel beams, clinging to cables over empty space. The walkway has been rebuilt with safer platforms, but the drop is still lethal. Visitors step onto glass panels and stare straight down into the canyon. It hangs more than 100 meters above the river. Once called the most dangerous path in the world, modern safety upgrades added railings and helmets for visitors. 7. Trolltunga Cliff, Norway. High above a blue Norwegian fjord, a stone tongue juts out into the air. Hikers step out onto the ledge and pose with nothing but sky around them. The drop from Trolltunga is hundreds of meters straight down. There are no guardrails, no ropes, no safety nets, only bare rock and wind. Reaching the cliff requires a long mountain hike over snow, mud, and slick stone. Storms can roll in fast, turning the return trip into a fight against cold and fog. Trolltunga translates to Troll's Tongue. The hike is roughly 20 to 28 kilometers round trip. Weather can change in minutes even during summer. 6. Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, Ukraine. Beyond a rusted checkpoint, nature swallows an abandoned city. Ferris wheels, schools, and apartments sit frozen in time, slowly collapsing. Chernobyl's exclusion zone surrounds the site of the worst nuclear power plant accident in history. Tour buses now drive past cracked roads and wild forests growing through concrete. Visitors walk through empty classrooms where textbooks gather dust and gas masks lie scattered on floors. Radiation levels are monitored, but certain hotspots can still spike dangerously. Official tours typically depart from Kyiv for day trips. Wild animals like wolves and boar roam the abandoned area. The places ahead push the danger even further, from crumbling mountain roads to pools perched on the very edge of a waterfall. 5. Death Road, Bolivia. In the Bolivian Andes, a dirt road clings to the side of a vertical jungle wall. Fog hangs over the valley, hiding the depths below. Cyclists from around the world ride mountain bikes down this narrow track. On one side, dripping rock and waterfalls soak the path. On the other, nothing but open air. Old crosses and memorials stand where vehicles once plunged into the clouds. Even today, a single mistake can send riders skidding toward the edge. Official name is Yungas Road. Heavy rain and fog often reduce visibility. 4. Devil's Pool, Victoria Falls. At the top of Victoria Falls, the Zambezi River flows calmly toward the brink. Just before the drop, a natural rock lip forms a shallow pool. In dry season, swimmers climb onto the edge and slip into Devil's Pool. They lie on their stomachs and look straight over the waterfall's edge as the river roars past. A guide holds their ankles while the mist rises around them. One wave, one misstep, and the water would pull them into open air. Located on the Zambian side of Victoria Falls, the drop beside the pool is around 100 meters. Despite the name, it remains a popular thrill for tourists. 3. Danakil Depression, Ethiopia. In northern Ethiopia, the ground bubbles, hisses, and steams like an alien planet. Pools of neon yellow and green acids spread across cracked earth. The Danakil Depression is one of the hottest, driest, and most toxic places on Earth. Sulfur fumes rise from vents, and razor-sharp salt crusts crunch underfoot. Tour groups walk between boiling springs and jagged lava fields, wrapped in scarves to block the choking smell. Heat waves shimmer over endless salt flats stretching to the horizon. Guided visits require armed escorts and careful planning. Scientists compare the landscape to volcanic moons and early Earth. 2. Inside active volcanoes, Stromboli and Vanuatu. On a remote island, tourists sail toward a smoking cone rising from the sea. As night falls, glowing lava bursts from the summit, spraying sparks into the sky. Volcanoes like Stromboli in Italy and Mount Yasser in Vanuatu offer front-row seats to constant eruptions. Boats circle offshore or four-wheel drives climb ash slopes toward the craters. Visitors stand on the rim and watch molten rock explode just a short distance away. Ash, gas, and red-hot rocks rain down unpredictably, turning every visit into a calculated risk. Mount Yasser is one of the world's most accessible active volcanoes. Authorities sometimes close access after sudden powerful blasts. 1. Mount Hua Plank Walk, China. On the cliffs of Mount Hua, a narrow wooden path clings to smooth vertical rock. The mountain drops away for hundreds of meters straight down. Visitors strap into harnesses and clip onto a chain bolted into the cliff. They shuffle sideways along rotting planks no wider than a shelf. At some points, the boards vanish entirely and only metal footholds remain. People press their faces into the rock, fingertips digging in as the wind claws at their backs. Located near the city of Huayin in Shaanxi Province, harnesses and safety gear are now mandatory on the plank section. The mountain once had a reputation as one of China's deadliest hikes. Despite the danger, crowds still queue for their turn on the boards. You have just toured 10 of the most dangerous tourist attractions on the planet. From glassless skywalks over city skylines to radiation zones and toxic acid pools, these are places where one wrong move can change everything. At the top of the list, the Mount Hua Plank Walk turns a simple cliffside path into a life or death balancing act, yet people still line up for the thrill. Which of these spots would you dare to visit in person? Would you swim in Devil's Pool, bike down Death Road, or walk the planks of Mount Hua? Do you think these extreme attractions should exist, or are they accidents waiting to happen? If you could design your own terrifying but legal tourist adventure, what would it be? If this journey made your palms sweat, tap like and subscribe so you do not miss the next exploration. Soon, we will dive into the most dangerous natural wonders on Earth, from rogue waves to hidden whirlpools and mountains that collapse without warning.